Welcome to this week's episode, special episode of Tech Talk. This week we're going to be talking about the Bahamas Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Conference that's happening over in Grand Bahama. And for that, we have a very special guest, Omar Isaacs. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Michael, thank you for having us. Like you said, my name is Omar Isaacs. I'm an investment officer here at the newly formed Investment Relations Unit at the Office of the Prime Minister, Grand Bahama.
So, Omar, that's a title that you have there. What exactly is it that you guys do there? And how does that really correlate to blockchain and cryptocurrency and that kind of stuff?
Okay, well, Grand Bahama Island is somewhat special in our chain of islands. And, I would start right there because here we are in an archipelago, chain of islands, talking about blockchain. But not to digress, Grand Bahama Island is one of the most northernest islands. We're just 50 miles off the coast of Florida, and we have a city called Freeport. Within that city, there's a special tax exemptions that any businesses that want to come to this island jurisdiction can take full advantage of. And I won't get too much into the drop downs there. But this is very attractive to those startups we feel that may want to come and set up shop here. That's really where we're starting. And within this turning Grand Bahama into a tech hub, we wanted to begin in the blockchain and technology space and cryptocurrency space before, broadening or expanding.
Okay. So this blockchain and cryptocurrency conference, is it the first of its kind here in the Bahamas?
Well, I won't say it's the first of its kind. We hosted one called Polycon in New Providence, but this would be the first that we know of that has been sponsored and underwritten by a government entity, and rightly so, because the Bahamas' government at the Bahamas Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Conference wants to, make a stand on day one, especially June 20th. Where all of our attendees are going to have one-on-one FaceTime with the likes of Governor John Roll of Central Bank of the Bahamas, Ms. Christina Roll. She heads up the Bahamas Security Commission. Mr. Keith Davies, who is the CEO of BizX, that's our international exchange, as well as a whole list of thought leaders and regulatory agencies, where we are going to state to the world, this is the Bahamas' stance on blockchain technology and some of the regulatory framework that we are going to be putting in place moving forward.
Okay. So the conference itself, what is it that you guys are hoping to really accomplish or gain by the end of the conference?
Well, there's a short-term and long-term goals there, and that's a loaded question. I appreciate the question. Well, I'll start with the short-term. The conference is a hybrid conference in a way, where we're educating. There will be some, dynamic panel discussions. I mentioned one just now at 1:30 on day one, where we have all of the regulatory agencies of the Bahamas that are going to be congregated on stage, going at it, letting persons know the central bank stance. But we also have a flip side to this conference, where we have a venture conference. We've assembled some venture capitalists that are coming in. And during the time where we have some slots in there for pitch presenters, where you have international companies who are at seed stage, early stage, and growth stages, will be pitching to these venture capitalists and investors in private sessions that hopefully we will see the next big thing in blockchain technology spring up from Bahamas Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Conference.
Okay. So what kind of topics can we really expect? I know you kind of mentioned a few just now, but what kind of topics can we really expect at the conference, and who are really the speakers?
Okay, yeah, I'm glad that you asked that because I'll start at the top and then work my way down. I was really, really excited when we got word that Anthony Diario was, he had confirmed he was going to be speaking at our inaugural. Then we have Michael J. Casey, who is well known from CoinDesk, and he's well known throughout the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. But we have also I'll say some young, vivacious Bahamians in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. The likes of Christy Powell, Marvin Colby, um, Stefan Delaveau, and a list of others. And they'll be having roundtable discussions about how the Bahamas can continue to evolve our digital economy. We also have some well-known persons like Manny Eager that are going to be speaking about the future. What is blockchain looking like in the future, and things of that nature. So it's going to be a diverse panel. We've put together a stand-up schedule that everyone who's tuned in, you can log on to www.blockchainbahamasconference.com and take a look at our scheduling. I believe anybody who is anybody is going to be at this conference.
And I believe there's a certain code that you could use if you're a Bahamian to bypass that fee for registration, right?
Correct. Well, it just now expired today.
Oh,
Just expired today. That code was BAH 2018, but we really are looking at extending that. So don't count it out just yet. I'm sure if we do extend it, I will send that back to you so that you can let your viewers know.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, will these be? Will there be more of these kind of blockchain and cryptocurrency conferences or events and stuff like that?
I can say this much. We started out in blockchain and cryptocurrency because that was a recommendation, and of course, it is a hot topic. But this all originated out of our Grand Bahama Tech Summit that started last year, and we will have a sophomore and follow up conference or summit this year. So we will be continuing the trend or continuing down that track of technology, creating this platform and really pulling and luring in many different companies like the Dells of the world, like the HPs of the world, to come and take a look at Grand Bahama closely during the summits, but also after the summits to see if this is a perfect base of operations for them.
So essentially, you would say that the inspiration of this particular conference was the tech summit that happened in the later part of last year.
Correct. The BBCC, as we call it, it was born out of that steering committee that came out of the Grand Bahama Tech Summit. Our chairman, Dr. Donovan Moxie, he is being hands-on. He was named chairman of the steering hub committee, and he presented this to government, and we all stand behind him.
Okay, so a lot of people hear blockchain and then they hear cryptocurrency, but blockchain is something all by itself. Cryptocurrency kind of builds on top of that, but blockchain can also do much more. Smart contracts, Internet of Things, like when you and I spoke prior to this.
Yeah.
It can do a lot more. Are we just really looking at the cryptocurrency side of it, or are we looking at the full spectrum in this conference?
No, I would like to stick a pin right there that the Honorable Minister Kwesi Thompson, who leads out this particular office of the Prime Minister here in Grand Bahama, I have to give hats off to him for having the vision that he has had, where he knows that cryptocurrency Um, it's a toss up right now. Certain people look at it, it has a stigma. Others are seeing it as, the e-currency of the future. But he wanted to shift focus to the blockchain technology specifically. And like I said, I give him hats off because we have some applications here in the Bahamas that we know blockchain technology can rectify, i.e., land registration. We're seeing persons that are coming to the forefront saying, hey, land registration can be utilized much more effectively if we were to apply it to blockchain technology. Even where we have, this is a tourism destination and a touristic destination. The shared driving and the shared economy with different platforms that we do have, that can be utilized if we, plan it out right and apply it to blockchain technology. There's so many different applications, and like I mentioned, we're a chain of islands that each one of our island states have its own economy or microeconomies. We definitely
So
see
true.
blockchain technology and the use of money transfers between these microeconomies being a viable option in the very near future.
Okay. So, are we looking towards a future maybe where the Bahamas has its own shift from physical currency to well, cryptocurrencies?
I can't predict the future. What I can say is that there is being moves towards it. I know that many different um, entities have been agitating for it. You hear it around you, especially within the Bahamas. Like I said, we have some very very dynamic personalities and young Bahamians who are in the cryptocurrency space, mining across the world. And we will have a few of them on stage. One of them, I would say, who has been utilizing the blockchain technology on a very international stage has been Matthew Arnett, a son of the soil of Grand Bahama, who we're welcoming back home. And he's been doing some very innovative things with blockchain technology, I must say.
Okay. I want to thank you for your time, but before I really do that, I want to just give a warning. If we do decide to go to cryptocurrency, we must keep in mind the energy costs for mining. And I'm saying this because you brought up mining. So that's something we have to keep in mind. Even if we're going through this everything has its own cost that's more of an intangible cost.
Mhm.
So
No, definitely, I agree. And um, the the Bahamas' government right now, like I said, I am here. We are here um, to really create a platform so that we can tell the world how we want to move forward in this space. Um, I invite every and anybody down. Please log on to www.blockchainbahamasconference.com. Register today so that you can be on hand to hear firsthand what the Bahamas' stance will be from topics like cryptocurrency and exchanges to even immigration and how persons who are coming into the Bahamas who would like to set up in this space would be accepted and what we're doing and making strides towards that end. But we think that it's going to be a successful conference, and we look forward to hosting one more in the very near future next year.
okay, so just for everyone who's listening, when exactly is the conference again, and where is it
O-
exactly?
Okay, the Bahamas Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Conference will take place on Grand Bahama Island at the Grand Lucayan Convention Center. June 20th through the 22nd. We want everybody to be there. For more details, please log on to www.blockchainbahamasconference.com.
Thank you again for your time, Omar. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the conference, hopefully,
Oh,
if things
yeah.
go well.
Well, please, we look forward to having you and meeting you in person.
And until then, you
Yes,
take care.
you too.
Take care, everyone.